What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Black Sheep Family and Autism. My name is Nicole. If you're new here, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, be down with the gang. So, like this video, comment on this video, subscribe, share it out, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, whatever you got, share it out. If you got a YouTube that you can share it out on, share it on your community channel, because if you do the type of content I do, your audience might like it too, so. It's free, sis. It don't cost you a thing. It don't cost you a thing to thumbs it up either, in the words of Chrissy. So, y'all know that I'm doing vlogmas. So, all the stuff that I said that I was going to catch you guys up with, I'm finally catching you guys up with. I am in a different location instead of in front of the Christmas tree, just because I thought y'all would want to change the scenery. What was I saying? Scenery. So, yeah. So I'm gonna tell you guys about the daycare they are at now, and I will go ahead and say the name. They're at Pediatric Plus. They have 5 locations. They have Conway, I believe 5 locations. Conway, Russellville, Sherwood, Marmel, Little Rock, and I think they have one in Arkadelphia. So 6 locations. And they have one in Texas, somewhere in Texas. I'm not sure of the city because I don't live in Texas. So, yeah, you guys. They go to Pediatric Plus. What I will say about this school, because I'm going to try to start with the good and bad. I'm going to tell y'all what I do and don't like about the daycare. So, I'm going to start with the whole process. The process took about 3 months, I will say. Oh, yeah, a little bit backstory. Carter and Crystal actually went to this daycare. They went to this daycare in Little Rock y'all know Carter and Crystal is 11 and 9, so it's been some time ago. But they went to Pediatric Plus, I think around the time she first opened, because I think she only had 2 locations. So she had that location, then she got the one that she had in Little Rock, but she started somewhere completely different. What I will say about the daycare at first, it was a good daycare, like far as talking to the director, talking to the assistant, anything that you needed, like any questions that you have, you could talk to her, like you call and talk to her like normal daycares. And it wasn't like an issue at all. So that's why I was like, and then when she did her updates and her remodels and stuff like that, it was just like, okay, cool. Now, because the only problem that I had then was, I look back on it, I think a teacher was, Carter stuff had an attitude with me because I did Carter party at his daycare, because Carter at the time I didn't have no cousins or nobody like that I knew of that had kids around the age of Carter. So it just made sense to have it at the party. And the little boy was trying to put his hand inside the thing, and I moved his hand. Like, I didn't take him and be like, ugh, don't touch me. Like, I didn't do him like that. So the teacher in that class had like an attitude, because she was like, well, you can't touch the kids and you can't do this. And I was like, well, get the kid. And she looked at me because she wasn't expecting me to say nothing, because I don't say nothing to them. Like, I never had a problem with anything other than the fact that Carter would be dirty from coming home from playing on the playground. And like, I can't stand to send my kids to school. Y'all see how my kids dress. Like Carter, I dress the same way. They have button up ons, they have polo ons, they have Julian on, they look decent. They're not gonna be out here like baby's kids. They're not gonna have snot all down their face. They're not gonna have none of that stuff going on. So when she got the new playground, no problem. So I was like, cool. And that was the only like incident. But now that I look back on it, that I'm the age that I am now, because now like the kids come up to me and touch me in the same daycare, the same Pediatric Plus, and you be like, hey, you try to move the kid or whatever. But you know, like move the kid because they will go at the door with you. So I just never had a problem with, oh my God, like, you can't touch the kid other than over there. But that was like the only incident that happened, which was with their birthday. But I didn't want the kid to basically put his hand in everybody in the cake. And, you know, a kid is going to smash it and they're going to play in the icing and stuff like that. But that means the other kids couldn't got no cupcakes. So that's why I moved his hand, like common sense. Mind y'all, now at this time, I had worked at a daycare anyway. I just didn't work at a daycare. I didn't want to work with Carter and Crystal, which looking back, I probably should. And looking at all the stuff that's going on in daycares, I probably should. But I didn't want to work with them because I have seen people work with their kid, and it's like they never got a break for their kid. Like if something's going on with their kid, they call the parent, and you're the parent, and you're on the facility. So it's like, bro, can I ever get a break? And I just seen a girl that had the issue with no family support, baby daddy support, none of that. So she was just like, Like, I like kids, I work with kids, but I don't want to look at him. Like, don't come get me type stuff. So I just didn't want to work with them because I know how to work with my kids at the time, and I knew those kids have developmental problems and delays, and I know feeding tubes. I don't know nothing about none of that stuff, and now I know that the nurses come and feed them kids and stuff like that. But I didn't want to mess up none of that, so nope, don't want to do it. Don't want to work with them. Don't want to do it. But yeah, so that's the only thing that I can say negative. Like, actually, at the daycare, at the center, happened, and I didn't say anything about it because to me, when I told her, well, get the kid, if you had the kids, I wouldn't even touch them. So, and it probably was her child or something like that, who knows, but I never would have touched the child. But like I said, I didn't touch him in a way that I wouldn't want nobody to touch my kid, even at that age. Okay, so let's fast forward to Jaxon and Julian. Yeah, Jaxon and Julian took about 3 months. Cause see, back in the day, she was on the thing. Like, don't get me wrong, when you elevate, you elevate. But back in the day, she kind of did that. She had other people that helped her to do it, and she was on a smaller level. So now that she has 6 locations, now it's like you have a department for this problem, you have a department for this problem, you have a department for this. And when you have a problem with that department, say for instance, I know my doctor signed the paperwork, or I know that you didn't send this paperwork. Y'all done sat here and said that my child have autism and some other stuff. Jaxon don't have autism. He never been diagnosed with autism yet. They don't diagnose kids with autism till they 2 and over. So, I mean, I just don't know how y'all are mixed up so much paperwork. Because what happened is they sent her a form to start outpatient therapy. Took them, now I ain't gonna stunt, some of the stuff be on my doctor because some of the stuff, it took her 2 weeks to sign herself. But some of the stuff, like y'all was saying physical therapy, outpatient. Y'all send occupational therapy, outpatient. This therapy, outpatient. Then when they get a spot at a daycare, now we got to send this. And y'all mind y'all now, my doctor takes at least 2 weeks to sign this because we're not her only patients. So y'all are on J-Phone because when she had like, when the coordinator lost Julian and Jaxon paperwork, when she got it mixed up, and then when she sat here and lost it and told me that, well, I never made an appointment. That's what she did. She lost the paperwork. She made an appointment, and she sat here and was like, well, I never did that. So I'm like, well, so y'all called me to cancel the appointment. Well, what did he have an appointment for? Well, who had an appointment then, sis? Oh, well, nobody had an appointment. This, that. When I have emails of you with this appointment, now all of a sudden he don't have an appointment no more. Now all of a sudden you don't know what I'm talking about. Now all of a sudden I'm crazy. When you sit here and talk to that supervisor, the supervisor don't know what's going on, and I'm telling you that she lost the paperwork. So my doctor should be able to resend that paperwork that y'all lost, because when they send something, they scan it and come back. I said, well, she's trying to sit here and make it seem like we never had an appointment, we never had this, we never sent this, we never sent that. When I sat here and watched my doctor sign this paperwork in my face, and I sat here and watched the person, the nurse, take it up there to them for them to fax that same paperwork over. So I know y'all got this paperwork. You lost the paperwork. Why don't you just say that, sis? Y'all, they got a department for that. Most daycares like this, you can speak to the therapist. Y'all can have like a little meeting, and they'll tell you like where they see a problem at, where they see that your child have a delay, where they gonna come in, where they need to help your kid at, what we need to work on with your kid. And it's just like an open line of communication. You know who your kid therapist is, just like you know who your kid teachers are and stuff like that. They can't do none of that. None of that. You can sit here and say that you want a tour of the school. They have a problem with giving you a tour of the school. You can sit here and say that, and mind you, they have a problem with doing that. Then it's a department for that too. Then when you want to meet the therapist or whatever, y'all don't know who the therapist is until we start our kid daycare. Until they start daycare. How do y'all not know what? I have never in my life heard of it. So then when they do get the therapist and they do get in a daycare, we still haven't yet to meet with the therapist to sit here and discuss what our kids need therapy with, like any of that stuff. No kind of structure. One thing I can say about the last 2 daycares, they at least had that together. They at least had together. And this same Pediatric Plus used to do that back in the day. I don't know why they stopped doing that, where they got out of that, but y'all, stuff is just all over the place to me. Like, and I get the mindset of the director or the owner of Pediatric Plus, because she like, well, if we have a department for this and we have a department for that, then, you know, shouldn't nothing, you know, go messed up. But no, it just messed it up, because to me, the people like Sherwood, Marmel, Conway, to me, Conway is like the regional office that does everything. And so when I went to Conway, they had stacks of paperwork. Even on the front desk, she had stacks of paperwork, mounts of paperwork and stuff like that. So I can honestly see how people lose something. But to me, to have all these departments for the center that your child go to, for them not to know nothing or be like, oh, well, I have to email this person have to email me that and email me this back. Like, sis, you just got a job. Yeah, you're just a filler. Like, you don't know nothing about this daycare. Like, I don't know, I like that. So, okay, rewind back. The location that's closest to our house, I'm not gonna say it because it's some real creeps on here. Y'all, this front desk person, like, I don't even know if she's stupid, dumb, slow, trying to be funny. I don't know. And it was a black girl. It's all I will say. It was a black girl. And you just dumb. Like, so I sat here and brought in, because the person, before I just stopped talking to her, she needed, because I know she have everything. I brought you the speech therapy. Y'all are supposed to test them. That's what we was waiting for, the paperwork for this daycare to test them. I brought in the speech therapy stuff and the, I believe, occupational stuff that they needed, but they retest them with that. They just took in speech therapy stuff, and I was saying, because this daycare, quote unquote, have a ABA program. So I'm like, okay. And mind y'all, now when Julian got diagnosed with autism, this was one of the daycares that they recommended was Pediatric Plus. So we go to Pediatric Plus, and there was another daycare that I know I'm never going to. I'm never sending my kids to the daycare, and I know I'm not. So I went to Pediatric Plus. That was one of the places. Pediatric Plus was one of the places. Let me think, what was I talking about? So she needed his speech therapy stuff. She needed all the tests that they did. They didn't accept that test, but like the speech therapy, they went ahead and approved. They went ahead and granted Julian's autism, so he like opted out of having to test for something. And then somehow they said that Jaxon had autism, and when I sit him back and I said, Jaxon does not have autism. And she like, well, I have the paperwork that he has autism. I said, it's my child. I think I know if my child was diagnosed with autism or not. Only one kid is diagnosed with autism. She was like, well, we already did that and it already got approved, so we got on file that he has autism. What? Stupid. The girl, when I, back to the girl with the front desk, when I'm giving her the paperwork for the autism stuff, she was like, well, I already got this. Like, didn't you send this last week? I was like, the paperwork that got sent last week, she claimed she can't find it. She claimed she never did get it. She said, no, but I faxed it over. I said, I know you faxed it over. I said, hey, watch you faxed it over, but she said she didn't get it. So she looked at the paper and she said, I got all of this last week. You sent all this last week. And I said, if you had it last week, why would I be giving it back to you? And I need my originals back. Like, I just don't even understand why you, like, your job is to sit here and send this stuff over to the enrollment team, the admissions team. Like, that's all you do. Why are you questioning me? Why are you up here trying to argue with me about paperwork that I know I ain't sat here and get you? If I gave you the paperwork and I was like, even if that, I would have been like, hey, she said she lost it. And she was like, well, I could just, resend it because I made copies of all that, which I know you did. And I was like, it's totally different paperwork. For her to look at me like, okay, well, I sent it to her. So she sent it over there to her. Like I said, the whole enrollment, mind you now, they're getting outpatient therapy at this time, but they haven't started the daycare process or even the screening process, but they went ahead and did the speech therapy on an outpatient basis. They have been getting that from that daycare for 2 months, which was why they was going to the previous daycare that I was talking about, because they basically went to daycare and we had to check them out early to take them to their therapy and stuff like that. Okay, so that happened. We sat here and dealt with that. Y'all, when I say it took like 3 months, it took like 3 months just to get them inside the daycare. and they did their therapy for, they did therapy for 2 months, and then it took another month for them to get the paperwork. So my doctor signed, so y'all, what I do, my doctor signed all the paperwork. Well, it's a family doctor, so she signed all the paperwork. And I said, I want that back. And they was like, well, we're going to fax it over. And don't get me wrong, I believe the nurses faxing over. I said, nope. Because we did that. Then they had a spot. They didn't tell us that the spot wasn't the location that we were going to or the location that we wanted, which was closest to our house. They then had a spot. When I said that they had a spot, we like, okay, cool, blah, 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 this, blah, 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 this. So when they got into the spot, it still was us. We had to come in, and we had to talk to the nurse and all them people to get their whole everything, their medical stuff and all this stuff together. We had to talk to them. We talked to them. They can't answer none of the questions. They really don't know nothing about what's going on, because they're like, well, mind you, we had the appointment at the location that we thought that the boys was going to, because of course we're not going to split them up. So for them to be like, well, we don't know what's going on with that location. Like, so y'all all are not Pediatric Plus. So what? We went through that with them. We did that. Mind you, now I had been asked for a tour for this daycare so that I can know what class they might be going into, so we can meet the teachers, and it won't be just meeting the teachers on the fly. Like, that's never been a problem. It's never been a problem with touring a daycare, meeting the teachers or meeting the people, class that you will be in, seeing the class that your kids will go to, so that you can kind of know them before you just, hey, it's your first day, how you go, here you go, just like that. Like, that's just what normal daycares do. And this daycare used to do that. So sometimes bigger is not better. I'll leave that there. So we called the location that the boys going to. They don't know nothing. Like, nothing. They got bought out and all this other stuff. Well, they don't know nothing. They just remodeled. They got a building. They just remodeled the building, and they did a lot of other stuff. They don't know nothing. Like, the girl was like, the assistant director used to be a therapist. So she basically just got put into a job and she don't know nothing about it. The director has a issue with talking to me about anything about my kid or about this daycare or about why it's an issue with me meeting these therapists. So I just don't even like the staff that has anything to do with anything. And like I said, I had brought the paperwork up there, and the front desk girl, when I brought the paperwork in there, I said, I'm bringing it to y'all. I need my copies back, because I don't need nobody saying that they never did receive the paperwork. So, because when we did that intake process or whatever, they didn't tell us that, you're doing intake, but your kid won't start. So when we called to ask, well, when are they going to start? Don't nobody know. Now it's the doctor didn't sign the paperwork. So why are we even doing the intake process, and why are we sending our kids here, and we can't talk to the teachers, we can't do none of this, we can't do none of that. Y'all done gave us paperwork to buy all their supplies, and y'all, I have a video with all their supplies and stuff like that. I just gotta try to hope that it works with my card, because I did it all on my camera. But my computer been acting janky, so whenever I get that together, hopefully here soon, I can put it in vlogmas so that you guys can see all the stuff that they got for school. That whole process, that whole process to me was stupid, because mind you, now we still ain't did no tour to either one of the daycares. Now I will say, the speech therapist, I like the speech therapist. One of them was trying to tell me that, because they had missed therapy, and I didn't call them and text them and let them know that they were going to miss therapy, which I didn't know that we had to let y'all know when they was not going to come to therapy, because something had happened and we couldn't make it, basically, because it's outpatient therapy. She like, well, we don't have room and spots like that for therapy. Like, we can't have this happening, or some shit like this, something along those lines. Mind you, now, when we brought our kids here to do the outpatient stuff, the initial intake person we talked to didn't say that you can't be late, you can't be more than this time late, you can't be late this many times or that many times. She didn't say none of that. So we don't know how many times that they can miss, because at the daycare they were going to, it didn't matter. Like, as long as they didn't miss, I think, over a week or two, they still had a spot, so it didn't matter. So while you're on the phone trying to correct me about whether my kid is late or not coming or not, maybe you should ask me, did they tell you our policy? I don't know y'all policy, because then nobody tell us the policy. just, y'all, this daycare, it's all over the place. And this daycare already had a bad review on it. And I just was like, because mind y'all now, Carter Chris went to this daycare. So I'm thinking, well, that just was a mad employee sound like, because she was making a lot of allegations and stuff like that that I don't know to be true. But I will say one thing that she did say in there, they do a lot of underhanded stuff, under the table stuff. And, you know, who knows what they be doing. I won't say that I think that they, well, I don't know, because it's a daycare. So I can't say that they do or don't do underhanded stuff, because y'all already losing paperwork and telling me that it never got signed, making appointments and telling me we never made them appointments and stuff like that. Like, y'all, they just real devious, and they really don't do nothing to me, like, to correct those behaviors, because the daycare to me is so big. They don't thoroughly go through people when they hire them. They don't thoroughly, like, they don't do none of that. They probably do a background check on them people, and that's about it. And just boom, they work there. So with the daycare now, since I took the paperwork in there to the person, I say I brought this paperwork in, so y'all can't say that I lost the paperwork. Y'all can't say that y'all lost it and never did receive it, because, and I need my copies back. So if y'all say that y'all didn't receive the paperwork, I can get my stuff back, since y'all don't know what day that they start. That makes no sense to me. How y'all know that he going to the daycare, or both of these boys are going to the daycare, but y'all don't know when they start this daycare. So I'm already like, babe, we might as well just find somewhere where they can do outpatient therapy, and they just come to the house. I'm there now. Like, it's not even a point of them receiving a check off our kids when they're stupid. Like, they can't do nothing. Like, just retarded. So that happened. We finally got a tour of the school or whatever, or the daycare. It was a fast tour of the daycare. The assistant director called herself not wanting to really talk to me, wanted to direct all her stuff to Jay, don't want to talk to me at all. You don't know nothing. Like, everything that we ask you, you don't know. But you are the assistant director, so I don't get it. Then the director don't want to talk to nobody on the phone. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna say don't call nobody back, don't return phone calls, don't do none of that. That's what the director do. So why are you even a director? And what, like, y'all don't know how to do anything. Like, but y'all, I guess, y'all are out here in whole child care with jobs, administrative jobs that y'all don't know. But when I sat here and gave the paperwork to the girl, and she went and she got her supervisor, I think, and all I was saying was like, I need my copy back or whatever. I was turning in the paperwork, and I told her to, you know, the director or the assistant director, because I don't know which one of them are, like, dealing with the case. She went and got somebody else, and I got the paperwork, and she was like, you know how somebody come out and they kind of like, oh, well, yeah, my name is him. Well, thank you for the paperwork. And you said that you wanted your copies back. And I'm thinking, oh, okay. Like, I don't understand why you even went and got her, because what was the point? Because she's not the director or the assistant director. Who are you? Like, I don't get it. So when I look at the girl that sat there and went and got somebody else, she kind of look off like, I don't want to deal with this person. I don't want to be bothered, when all I did was ask you for copies. Like, how hard was that to give it to the director or the assistant director? Makes no sense to me. When I asked to speak to when can we meet the therapist to the kids or whatever, to the boys, that she was like, well, usually we don't. She was like, well, I don't know. She said, so you need to meet the speech therapist. I was like, they're going to speech therapy now, but everybody here, I want to meet the speech therapy. Meet all of their therapists, like every last one of them, because I got 5 different therapists. Because Jaxon qualifies for everything. Julian qualifies for 2 things. So they have 5 different therapists, and we don't know what they're working with them on or any of that stuff. So you kind of want to know what they're working on, so that you can know what to work on at the house. Yeah, so she was just like, so you want to meet the therapist and have a conference with them? I was like, y'all don't do that? And she was like, well, no, we just assign them to a therapist when they go like that. I was like, oh, okay. And I left. Like, it's really, I'm not gonna sit here and waste my time and talk to somebody that y'all don't do nothing. So yeah, that whole intake process, y'all, was just stupid to me. Like, retarded to me. Like, I'm doing 25 minutes of this video was the intake process. Horrible. I hated the process of this daycare. But what I will sit here and say, also, I'm gonna let y'all know about this ABA program. They advertise that they have an ABA program. You know, ABA is for kids with autism and stuff like that. When you're trying to figure out about the ABA program, because ABA, they normally come to the home and all this stuff. And I want to do the ABA program with the same daycare they went to. Is kind of why I chose the daycare, because they had an ABA program for Julian. And with Jaxon, with people thinking that Jaxon might be on the same spectrum, I just would rather them be in the same daycare, in a daycare that has all of that stuff at once. That way, everyone knows the whole family, versus they go to this daycare here, but they have an ABA here, and they really don't know. Like, I didn't want to do that. I wanted them to be able to get everything at once. They had the ABA program in 2 locations, and a location, 2 out of 6 locations at that. I don't even know why they advertised that. That's, to me, false advertisement when y'all don't have ABA for both of the boys, basically. Like, for all of the centers. Why are y'all advertising it for all of y'all centers when y'all don't have it for all the centers? And they also advertise, and they don't know when they're going to get an ABA program. They just don't have it. So they advertise the stuff that they don't have. So also with the daycare that we wanted them to go to, they had a autism class. And to me, and then they don't tell you that we don't have one autism class. So out of the whole building with all the kids with autism, y'all have one class. But the good thing about the class was it's like no more than 8 students, I believe, and it's 3 teachers in there with those students. Now, what I will say is it's 3 to 4 teachers in all of the classes. So, I mean, to me, it's still smaller classes anyway, but from what we understood from the autism classes, it's designed for kids with autism versus, you know, just a regular, smuggler class, like with regular kids. Like, I get that they have an inclusion and stuff like that, but I just feel like that should have been something that they told us. Is like, hey, even though he has autism, like, I'm thinking, yeah, how they advertise it, I think that they have, you know, 2 classes designed for kids with autism and 2 to 3 classes for kids that have regular, you know, delays and stuff like that. Since y'all only have 8, you know, students in that class with 3 teachers, and then they have a speech pathologist, however you say the word. They have a speech therapist in there on top of their speech therapist to help the kids with autism, because most of the kids with autism don't speak. So that was something I didn't like. He's not in the class. He's not at the facility that y'all said that he would be in. Yeah, I don't know when y'all gonna get the ABA program. It's a huge waiting list in these other 2 locations, because when I was gonna be like, well, do y'all not have no room at these other locations where he can get his ABA at? And they can't really answer that. They can't really answer that question. So to me, it's just, I don't like them. But they teachers in a class, they cool. So like, it's one of those type of situations. To me, with daycare and childcare, you just would never find a perfect daycare. I have came to that realization that we would never find a perfect daycare that offers everything. We're never going to be able to talk to the whole staff, like the director, the assistant director. You know, we need to know about aftercare and the answers to that. Like, they still don't even have before and aftercare. Like, what? Or supposedly have it for our boys, where we can have before and aftercare. So if I was to work a job, I'm restricted to work around daycare hours, which are not like all day. They're not even like 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 hours of care. So yeah, so like if me and Jay decide to go get a job, like we gonna have to work opposite shifts or something like that. Like, it's just stupid. But the good thing that I can say is, like, the teachers seem to actually like them. The teachers seem to actually care about them. The teachers are nice. So like the people in the classrooms are cool. The therapists, every therapist that I met have been cool. But like the administrative staff, I don't like none of them. The front desk person at the location that I do go to, though, she's been with this daycare since before they was even this daycare. She's always been nice. I don't know why she's not like a coordinator or something like that, but maybe they're short staffed. I don't know. But yeah, you guys, that's kind of my ramble spiel about the daycare that they're at now. I will say I have 0 problems with dropping either one of the boys, with their noses, with them changing diapers, with like shoes tied. I don't have none of those issues at all with this daycare. So yeah, I mean, it's stuff that I feel like they definitely need to improve on, but it's not like a deal breaker. And the other thing that I don't like is we have codes to get in, and this is why I feel comfortable with telling y'all what daycare they go to, but we have codes because it's like, if you don't have that code to like key in to come get your child, you can't get back there. What I don't like is that code only works for the parents at morning, and in the afternoon you're supposed to pick them up. So when you want to go check on your kid, you have to go to the front desk to let them know that I'm trying to go check on my child, for them to be looking at you like, well, why do you want to check on your child? Well, why is it an issue for me to check on my child? That's another thing that I don't like, and that's another reason why I'm like, to me, it's too much like jail. But to me, I liked it initially because I didn't know that it was a time frame that you could not use your own code to check on your own kid. To me, y'all want to have enough time to be like, oh, well, let me go see what's really going on in that class before we let you back. Like, to me, that just seemed like some cover-up stuff. But the reason why I don't feel like the location is doing anything to the kids is because the staff member that left the review on the daycare, she said that the kids have issues, like they would hit you, spit on you and stuff like that, and you can't do nothing to those kids. You can't do anything to those kids, and I don't like that you can't do nothing to those kids. It's like, sis, what did you think you was gonna be able to do to these people kids? Because like this is a whole developmental center. It's for kids with autism, cerebral palsy, and delays, like developmental delays. And even in a regular daycare, mind y'all, now I have a background in childcare, so in a regular daycare, you can't do nothing to you can't whoop kids. You can't do nothing to kids. Like, I don't know what did you think? So I don't think that nothing's going on, but to me, it's just kind of a red flag to me that when I'm like, I want to check on my kids, you're looking like, well, who are the kids and how and why are you trying to check on them? Like, I know a lot of people are like, ooh, I got my kid in daycare, here you go. But like, even the daycare where the idiots dropped my kid at, I never had an issue with checking on them, like looking in a little hole to see what they're doing. Normally when we leave, they be just fine. Now they don't even cry when we drop them off, but you still want to make sure that your kid is getting treated the same throughout the day, because I know within these 30 minutes, the wipe your nose and be fake and not be, they know that within them 30 minutes, versus when you just come and see about your child. And I would suggest and highly recommend anybody to go check on your kids. Even at regular school, go have lunch with them. Go check on your kids, because these people are doing any and everything to these kids. But yeah, that's like my little spiel about the daycare. I will say for the most part, I like it. The only part that I don't even deal with the administrative people because they're stupid to me. So I don't speak to them. I don't hire by none of it. I don't deal with them at all. But the teachers, I like the teachers. I like the classroom. It's a cool daycare. That my kids ain't coming back home looking like crusty and rusty from down the street. They coming back home looking how I sent them. They make incident reports. So if anything happened to your child, they make a report about it, whether you can see it or not. So I like that. We got this any daycare. It has its great times and it has its bad. Like, it's not going to just be perfect. So I get that, but the things that I would ask for, they have done. So really, I guess I can say I don't really have no problem. The only thing that I have a problem with is the whole keypad of letting me in and out to see with my kids, and the fact that people want to sit here and argue. And it was an incident where Jaxon wasn't in his class, and normally you come back to the front desk like, hey, where's my child at, or whatever, and you like, well, was he in class? And it's like, well, if it was class, I wouldn't be up here talking to you, would I? And a person just looked like, well, I guess not. Like, they just hire any kind of airhead to work these jobs, and that's why I don't like them. Now, the morning time person that be sitting there in the morning time, I like her, and like I said, their teachers are cool. But yeah, also with the daycare, y'all, I was gonna say, the old daycare that they went to and the daycare before that they went to, put in cologne on them, ironing out their clothes, putting cologne on them, because I spray them with the lavender starch or whatever, ironing their clothes out, cologne, any of that for them to smell good or smell decent. Like, or if they be on Jay and that his cologne get on them, we never had a problem with them being like, oh my God, it's bothering the teachers, it's bothering the kids. And it's not even nowhere in the paperwork, the rules that your kids can't come to school smelling good. I have never heard of somebody having a problem with kids coming to school smelling good. Like, never. And And the other thing is with their supplies, there was a whole list of supplies. The teacher talking about some, well, he needs to have a white t-shirt for painting by this date. And it's like, sugar plum sweetheart, we never got in those directions of everything to get for your kid on the list. It didn't say a white t-shirt, it just said an oversized t-shirt. So I went and got 2 t-shirts. I got a long sleeve like shirt, and then I went and got a short sleeve shirt to have pizzas on it for painting, because I obviously don't care. Like, they're new shirts, but I don't care if they paint on them. And that's another thing that I do like about the daycare though too, is the fact that they do activities with them. Like, they paint with them every day of the week. They have some type of art stuff that they really actually do with these kids. So like, that's another thing that I like about the daycare. So like, majority of the part is more good because of the teachers and stuff like that than bad. It's more good because of the teachers and therapists than bad. The only thing that I can sit here and say that I do not like and I don't feel comfortable with and I don't feel safe with is the fact that why do the parents' code only work when it's time to pick them up and drop them off? Like, that doesn't make no sense. Like, yeah, and then when you try to go see them, like, the person let me in to see my kid, but I don't even feel, why does it not work during the regular business hours or regular days to go check on your kid? That makes no sense to me. So it could be something could have happened to one of these people. I get why it's there, because can't nobody off the street just come walk in and, you know, open up the door and go see your child and go take your kid, nothing like that. So I like the fact that it's there, but the fact that it's only there when y'all feel like it's okay doesn't make any sense to me. But I don't know if it's there because somebody have done something to one of the teachers. But even then, because that's how Jay was trying to explain to me, but even that does not make sense, because if it was there for the teachers and stuff like that, I can just wait till the morning to do something to the teachers, or wait till the evening to do something to the teachers. So it still makes no sense to me of why our code only works in the morning and the evening. Because if somebody crazy, they're going to just wait till the time they can use their code to do something. So I don't get it. And before somebody try to twist this around, not saying that I would do something to one of the teachers, but crazy people, they would just wait and they would still just use their code. So it makes no sense to me. And Jay was trying to say, well, maybe one parent will go pick up the kid and the other parent will don't give them permission and stuff like that. But I'm like, babe, no, because me or you could go pick up the boy. So unless I take you off the pickup list, like, that doesn't make sense for you not to be able to go in there until those times. And he was like, well, yeah, true, that don't make sense. Because all I could do if a parent have a problem with the teacher, they just deactivate your code. So it don't make any type of sense to me. I don't see how that's safe for you not to be able to check on your own kid throughout the day. So that's my only like thing. After the whole, like I told y'all, the enrollment process was stupid, but that was my only thing that I could say about the daycare. And I could have made this a two-part thing, but nope, I'm gonna keep it flowing. So see you guys on the next video. Be blessed. Peace.